welcome to RPG Research. This is our weekly electronic role-playing game development, brain-computer interface team meeting every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon Pacific time, right here on youtube.com/RPG Research. It is October 31st, 2020, Halloween Day. Ooh. And tonight we're doing a special, our annual Halloween special, where we do a late night game. We're doing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, Masks of Nyarlathotep, the introductory adventure. What's that?
I said scary.
From 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Pacific time. That's going on tonight. That'll be on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RPG Research. All right, sorry to interrupt you there, Valerie, but just need to do the little blurb thing. So if you want to go ahead and do what you need to do, and then I need to get ready, right? We're going to be running the game, trying to do the turn taking, right?
Yep.
So I'll get ready for that while you do your thing on your end.
All right. So first we'll go ahead and run through attendance. So Trevor?
Present.
Luke?
Here.
Doug?
Here.
Dario?
Here.
Zach?
I'm here.
All right, that's everybody we have in today. So basically just what I was saying, those two links that I posted in chat, they were links that were posted when we originally talked about storage and retrieval tools, but we hadn't gotten into it really at all. That was kind of just a brief overview stuff, so I'm giving you those as a starting point, but this is something that we'll need to kind of get into maybe next week or the week after. And the date that we had told you for the canceled meeting is now incorrect. We had to move the charity game again. So I'm looking up the new date. So it'll now be November 21st that we are canceling our meeting rather than the 14th. So I'll keep reminding you guys of that, and obviously I'll let you know the week before. But just, I guess that works out, since that would be like the Thanksgiving break meeting. We will not be meeting. I'm saying the cancellation date for our meeting changed from the 14th to the 21st since the date of the charity game moved. Okay, I mean, I didn't have that much to discuss, but yeah, that was everything on my agenda, but some stuff that we can kind of sorry, I'm reading through. I have a big compilation of notes of things that we have mentioned to discuss at some point, but then when I look at them, I'm like, that's something that would be for the future, and it doesn't make sense to talk about that now. So I'm kind of scanning to look for things that we can talk about at the moment.
Hey Luke, did you figure out how to not be able to attack an NPC?
Yeah, I once I turned the factions thing, I turned off PvP. I either turned on or off PvP. It worked.
Oh, I didn't know that you can do that. So what would you do to the NPC?
The only thing I did to the NPC was I just gave it a different faction.
Then the player?
Yeah.
A different faction.
Like I made it friendly to everybody, basically.
Hold on, let me run Neverwinter Nights, because I was trying to do it with the scripts and you could still attack them. It wasn't working.
Are you doing? Did I upload the new thing, or is this your own thing?
This is I'm looking up my own.
Okay. I know if you go once you like go into the playtesting thing, you can change your server settings in the options.
Oh, so it's not in Aurora toolset.
No, it's in the game.
So when we test your version out, will we be able to attack the NPCs?
When I tried it, it didn't let me attack the dog. but I'm assuming if you're allowed to attack it and the PvP is off, like, and we'll have to do some more play testing, but at least I was able to make it work in that context.
PvP should be something that the DM sets, so that should be fine for us, assuming that, because usually it's the server. When you're setting up a server, you go no PvP when you're the game master setting that up. So that should be fine to use, assuming that we don't find a way to break it.
Okay.
Okay, so something we can talk about is, as I was reading through our technical specifications, I realized that we never set up specifically what sets apart our toolset from the Aurora toolset. We had discussed a couple things that you guys didn't like about the Aurora toolset, but I kind of like to get your input on how you'd like our module editor toolset to be different from the Aurora toolset, so that we can be confident and sure about what differences we're setting up. So right now, the only note that we had from one of the past meetings was that we wanted a menu that allows you to open the module editor from within the actual game, so you don't have to juggle which application you're opening from the desktop. So how the toolset, the GM client, and the actual game are 3 different shortcuts, basically. But in terms of the Aurora toolset, what don't you guys like about it? What would you like us to change when we're building off of the toolset, but what do you want us to do differently? What do you want to keep?
My least favorite thing about the tool set is when you get into nested windows,
Same.
2 or 3 layers deep, you can't navigate back up, and you have to go back out in the way that you entered. And sometimes it takes a long time.
What do you mean? I don't think I've done this.
Like if you open, like say you want to edit a character's inventory.
Oh,
So,
I know what he's talking about now. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
character scripts even. If you go in, if you don't know the name and you go in through the character and then you go in through the script editor, you have to back out that same number of windows in. And if you want to navigate, if you want to edit something at a layer higher, you have to save and close out to get back.
Okay, yeah.
Like I feel like it'd be better if they didn't even have the nested windows, if they just changed the entire page. So like in web terms.
Gotcha. Okay, I see. That makes sense.
That would be nice, because there are some times when I forget when I'm changing values for things I put in NPC's inventories. I go back and I'm like, wait, what did I name it again? And I can't click on the window and it's blocking it. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, and sometimes, and actually there's like some saving issues potentially there too.
Oh yeah.
Because if you close one window but you don't know where it is, you might lose your progress. Yeah.
Okay, and I think I remembered last time we sort of touched on this conversation. You guys said movement around in the Aurora toolset was like, finding stuff is fine, but moving within like the view window is a little cumbersome.
Yeah, using the camera in the tool set is
The rotation especially.
it's terrible.
Yeah, like the map, right? That's what we're talking about.
Or you can't even move with the arrow keys. You have to use those little clicky buttons.
Yeah, that's extremely inconvenient.
Is there anything else that really grinds your gears about the Aurora toolset, or is it those 3 are mostly the changes we want to make?
I don't know. Do we want to change the way things are organized in our tool set? Like, do we want to have it theme based, or do we want to have it like what kind of entity it is?
I think it might make more sense to do entity, since theme base would be sort of genre dependent, and with the genres, we're basically doing like a Mad Lib style fill in the blank. So it would be like, here's a weapon that has these stats, but you can name it whatever you want. So it might make more sense to sort by type rather than theme. But I don't know if you guys have different input on that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I mean, if people know what theme they want, then it'll be easier. But if they just want to like mix and match some things, then entity based would probably be better.
The only thing I could think of is maybe like you edit all the themes relatively in the same time, but you have like a hamburger menu or some way to like switch between them, so it doesn't you don't have to have like 4 windows.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
It's kind of interesting to think about like a GUI for a text-based game. It's like
True.
it's
No way, man. I don't think I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way I'm understanding how our text user interface is going to look like is mostly like how mud RPGs would do. So that
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The before times.
They did a good job.
Right. Nope.
What about real quick? There's like Valerie, you said something about like SQLite editors and stuff. Are we gonna talk about that?
We were not going to talk about it. I just wanted to
Okay.
I wanted you guys to have that stuff on your mind so that you can like go research kind of storage retrieval tools, and then we'll
Cool.
discuss it later. But that was just kind of an intro to take a look at that.
Okay, and I heard somebody say something wasn't compatible with something V code. I early on, when I first jumped in, what was that about?
Oh, that. You remember when I brought up there's LLDB and GDB debuggers? I was interested in the LLDB.
Yeah.
Well, apparently with VS Code, if you're using Windows or Linux, you can't use LLDB with C++. So that rules it out.
So document that, Valerie, so that we don't circle back on that. The reason why we're not using LLDB is and specify.
I don't have Macs, basically.
Yeah.
That's one reason.
I did get for when we play through sandbox mode. So remember I showed you the difference between Fighting Fantasy Steve Jackson games and Fabled Lands. The difference is Steve Jackson games is more narrative focused, right? It's a set adventure. Fabled Lands is a sandbox. You can go explore the world, and then you go off the book and you need to get the next book. And you can come back and everything, right? So I picked up the second book just, so that in the future I can demonstrate better going from one book to another and from book back to the other book. But literally you have books, like if you were to lay them out on a map, you go this way on the map, you go to that book number. That's how they do the sandbox, choose your own adventure type solo adventure book. So when we experiment with sandboxing like that, I'll be able to demonstrate that to you all. It's pretty straightforward, but it's helpful to experience it. Okay, so let's do. Who's going to do how are we going to start doing the wireframing here? Valerie, is that going to be you, or do you want to assign somebody? I want to do some use case wireframing right now, so just basic flowchart.
Does anyone have experience with wireframing?
I have a ton, but I want to let you guys get that experience. So.
That's what I'm asking, is if anyone kind of knows how wireframing works or would like to give it a try.
So that's basically just making a flowchart and with UML diagrams, or
we're not going to even go to UML at this stage. We're just going to do a basic flowchart. So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing some of our use cases here, because what we're playing with here is trying to figure out our combat use case, right, and our turn-taking use case. Before we get there, I figured it would be a good time of how do we get from starting game to there. We're not going to cover every single branch. We'll leave some of those unanswered. We're going to go from starting the game to getting to ready to play this. But I'd like us to at least start our flowchart with room to then grow it out. So this is just going to be our use case flowcharts.
Okay. I mean, so basically we're just doing the twiner stuff, huh?
Well, you could do it that way, but we'd rather do it with well, yeah, it's now
Diagrams.net.
Diagrams.net. Yeah, that's why I got stuck, was the newer name. Yeah, we're going to use that. So if you want to be screen sharing or whatever, that as we go, as we discuss it, then that way we're all on the same page, literally. And what we can do is we'll take turns each week who's handling the flowcharting, because I want all of you to get experience doing this. It is a foundational developmental skill as a developer at every level. If you don't know how to flowchart and wireframe, you've got a big gap in your knowledge that you need to know as a developer for any project. And really not just software, right? Any project, you should know how to flowchart and wireframe, but especially flowcharts.
I mean, I'll try it. I don't mind.
Yeah, great.
I'll do it.
Great. Go for it. Go ahead and pull it up and screen share, and then we'll start walking through. I don't want to start till you're ready.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go right to the bathroom.
All right, good.
we're gonna upload the files we're using in between sessions to Git. I know if you download the diagrams, I think it's local. So
yeah, we do want them. We do want to share them.
Okay, you guys see that?
Yep.
First time I share my screen on Odoo, or Jitsi, I mean. Okay.
Okay. So let's go ahead and pick a start. There's usually a.
So, we're ready to start? Or no, is it diamond?
Go down to Flowchart. You're in general diary. You go down to Flowchart.
Oh yeah, let's go to Flowchart.
Okay, and in there it should give you. It's usually like just a circle.
Oh, circle?
There it is.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Yep, it said start. If you hover over it, it'll tell you what it is. So usually start in the upper left-hand corner. I mean, you can do down, you can do right. There's all sorts of options, but upper left-hand corner is a good starting point.
Oh.
And you're... Okay. And you can shrink that size down a little bit. Okay, that's good. We still want to be able to put text in there. Let me see what the text looks like. Just so just type in start.
Oops.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's about right. And then you can always expand the sheet as we need to. Okay. And save it. Go ahead and do a save so you've got it so you can keep doing control save as you go. So go ahead and save file, save as. Let's do, so this is what, phase 2 flow 1, call it whatever. Yeah. And then okay, that's fine. I just say, and I like to do date stamps where I then I would put like 2020 1031A. But it,
we can do that on the last save that I do.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then just periodically make sure you save so that you don't lose your work. All right. So we're starting with start. So in this case, that just basically means, loading the web browser, loading the game, whatever mode they're doing it, we start the game. And so the first menu, so we're going to have menu 1. And we've got create, PC.
Oh, sorry, I'm reading all these. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and make yourself a little familiar with it.
It's like pictograms or like hieroglyphics. I have no idea what a lot of these are.
That's why I want everybody to have practice with this, because this is really good foundational stuff.
Okay. All right, so.
So the user's going to get presented with menu 1. So it's going to be a display, and you're going to see menu 1. Okay, now you're going to put a decision right past that, which is the diamond. Okay, and so we're only going to just have, and put that down a little bit so you can have 3 branches off of it from the source. Bring down more. There you go. Okay, so you're going to connect some lines, some flow lines from start to menu 1. No, not a big arrow, just lines. That's too bulky. Go up a little bit and you go to your lines.
Oh.
You're going to draw a connector up at the top menu there. There's a bunch of connectors. Over top center. No, go up to the very
center.
There you go. Those are connectors. Or wait, that's waypoints. Left of that. There we go.
Oh, I think these are.
It's going by too quickly for me to see what it says. Yeah, connection. That's it. That's it. Yeah, line. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, you got that. Now go from menu to the left hand of that. Well, let's go to the top of it. We'll go to the top of the triangle. That'd be the diamond.
Okay.
I've never tried to verbalize this to somebody before. I just do it. So bear with me. I haven't taught flowcharts before. So you got to go back, click on connector. And then, is it not letting you?
Oh.
Maybe you have to, under general, click on the line arrow thing that you did click on. Maybe that one. Oh, now it's.
Oh, it just gives me one.
Yeah, you should be able to like click and drag. This is where we just got to figure out how to use the tool. No, delete that.
All right.
So what happens if you click on menu 1? on, yeah, right there, and then go, well,
Oops.
so present you options, is that what it does?
Yeah, but none of them are connections. They're just other shapes.
Huh,
I've always gotten a line from the tool set and then dragged it between the
okay,
two.
so,
That's what I've always done.
okay, so it doesn't, okay, that's a little different than what I've used, but, oh, wow, it's Rick calling, nice. Okay, let's see if we can figure it out for this particular tool.
Try to hit the diamond. So go back to menu and hit the diamond. Maybe it'll put out a diamond that's already connected.
Well, there you go. So that's what I was trying to get you to do, but you got to reverse that from menu 1 to the top of the diamond.
You can click the line and change it if I remember the direction.
Yeah, the top of the diamond.
On top of the diamond. Oops.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, so let's have, for this decision making, we can, on the right hand side, we're gonna put a, let's see, I can't hover over it.
Sorry.
That's okay. On the right hand side, we're gonna want, it's gonna be another basically display option. So you're gonna put a space to the right hand side and put a display. Yeah, for those you grab and drop. It's the one that just like menu 1.
Oh, no,
there you go.
Okay. There it is.
There you go. So yeah, you're gonna put that to the right. Good. You're gonna put one below that and then one to the left. Right. These are where each of your decision options can go from that. Okay. So for the menu on the right, we're gonna label that create PC. For the menu on the bottom, let's do new game. And the menu on the left, load game. How's that sound so far?
Sounds good.
We'll totally overhaul this as we need to. I'm just trying to get us to where we're playing this game today. All right, so now go ahead and do connectors to each of those off of the decision box. Okay, so let's go to create PC. Let's create, now over and let's look at your options of the things, and it's going to be a process what we want to point to. So in there, I think it's the one with the lines on the side, the rectangle with the lines on the side near the bottom, I think. Oh, no, I just saw you over process. You were on it a moment ago. Okay, predefined process, there we go. So stick that to the right of create PC. Okay. And just do a connector to that. Now, we don't have to, so you can just put in there PC creation process.
Okay.
And that basically connects to a separate document. Right? We don't go any further with defining that in this flowchart. Right? Because, you can later expand it out. Like, I've had flowcharts that have taken up the entire ceiling to floor, wall to wall, for some of our projects, right? But you don't start that way. You start.
I don't know if this matters, but should those arrows be double-headed? Like that you can go back to the menu and. I don't know if that matters.
Not for this flow, because you would be coming back in PC creation process. We would have a flow that brings us back to main menu. It would point to menu 1, right? You wouldn't necessarily go back PC creation process to create PC to decision block to menu 1. You would just go from PC creation process straight to menu 1.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? What we're doing right here is we're doing a predefined process for just beginning the game. And then we're branching off to separate flowcharts, and we'll create those charts separately. So again, object-oriented thinking here. You want to do things in bite-sized little pieces, and it's much more scalable that way than if you try to cram everything into one thing. All right, so new game, same thing. Put a process below it, and you're going to put, create new game process.
Oops, wrong way.
Yeah, that's okay.
There we go. And then it's
create new game process. That was that also listed as process?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's instead of predefined process. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
care. Either one's fine. All right, do the same thing for load game.
And then for load game would be
Load game process. Yeah, and just for the sake of consistency, change the PC creation process to be the same, just so it's consistent.
all right. Okay.
All right, save that, and let's actually rename it now. Start game process 1, and then date stamp it.
Okay.
So it'll be save as.
I was looking for a rename thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Do phase 2. Flow 1. Yeah, start game process. And then today's date stamp, 2020-10-31A. No slashes or anything, just straight numbers.
Okay.
Because otherwise, weird file system things can happen. Other way, okay, for file sorting, I like to do it the other way.
Yeah.
You go from year to month to date. It sorts better for file sorting.
Oh man, wish we had changed it. I can just change it on my desktop.
Yeah, you need to close it out before you do, or you're gonna.
Yeah.
And you need to start it with the date, or else it won't sort it, right? If it's
No,
open-ended.
because you can have 3 versions of that. So as we revise this document,
Oh, that's right.
it'll be
Right.
matched together. Otherwise, everything will just be by date, and that's less useful.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
These are just little administrative tricks that I've learned over the decades that just make life. Because when thousands of documents, it makes life so much easier.
So it's year, month, then date. Right?
Yes, from least granular to most granular.
Okay.
Because on their file system, it'll sort it that way. Like if you did a 1, 2, and 3, and 4, it'll sort it 1, 2, 3, and 4. So by doing it that way, it sorts it by date from oldest to newest as it goes up. Because you're literally just counting up the numbers, right? 20, 10, 31. The numbers just keep incrementing up. So it sorts on the file system much more effectively. And then I put a letter, because sometimes I'll do several edits in the same day. So I'll do an A, B, C, D, etc.
Okay.
So we're not seeing your screen anymore, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Just letting you know.
What the? Oh, whatever. Okay.
Version control before version control.
Yes, it's manual version control. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is how my whole laptop, this is how I have like 10,000 research articles and stuff on my laptop, and I can find stuff. My email, I have email going back 20 years, and I've got hierarchical sorting in my email client and everything, and I can actually find stuff. So, yeah. I am, in the physical world, I struggle with order. In the digital world, I can be very organized. I hate paper. I love physical books and tangible stuff, but I hate paper when it comes to records. All right. So we got that. So that is our... Okay, and then that actually need to have a letter A at the end in the future just for revisioning, but that's okay. So you got the right idea. So that is that process. So when we start creating PC creation process, we will have one that starts with, menu, start game process 1 will be the starting, right? You'll have that box there, start, and then when we finish it, you go back to menu process 1, right? Start game process 1. That's how we'll loop back to it. All right, so we're not going to worry about create new game, load game, whatever. We've got that figured. So now, go ahead, Doug. You want to say something?
Yeah. Are we going to have settings?
Yes.
I was just about to think about that. Yeah.
We'll get into all that later. Right now, I just want to get us to actually playing this game. Right? So this is a skeleton we're starting with to get you familiar with this. We are going to flesh the heck out of this in future sessions. But we're not going to get bogged down in it right now. We could get into analysis paralysis and never get to the game today very easily with this. So we'll do more of this as we keep progressing. So now we're going to create another new flowchart.
I'm gonna do flowchart. Oops.
Okay, and basically we're doing a new game here, so let's we're gonna be very literal about it in the case of this, just to, you know, then it kind of branches into twinery really once we get to this point. So we're gonna have first you're gonna start with the predefined process that we're coming from. Kind of put that up at the top left. And again, this is not the only way to do this. There are many ways to skin the flowchart cat. It's just one of many ways. There is no right way. There are different standards. All right, so that's going to be the start game process that's coming from. Right, because you've started the game, and now you can either go PC, new game, load game. Okay, now you're going to go to, we should probably have a title up near the top right-hand corner. I forgot to put that on the other one. Is there a text option? And put in the upper right-hand corner of the text.
I saw one. Here we go.
Okay, so upper right-hand corner, this is the start new game process.
Oops. Oops.
No, you didn't have to. Not literal. You're going to title it Start New Game Process. There we go. Yeah, we didn't need to do the whole everything else. Okay, good. All right, it auto-sized it. That's okay. That doesn't matter. All right. A process. You need to put process in there. And really, it should be a straight line along the top rather than going down. So not vertical. We want it all horizontal. Good. There you go. All right. And remember, titles, typically you title you capitalize the first letter of each, or you capitalize the whole thing.
Okay.
Just getting our standards here. Valerie, you want to make notes of that as I throw out these standards out there that we document? It's all in my head. So the first letter of each word in a title is capitalized. Or you capitalize the whole thing. Either one. All right, there you go. That's a proper title. You know, when you write books and stuff, that's how you write a title. All right, so now, just to the right of start game process, go ahead and do the start button, the start circle. Okay, shrink it down a little. Make it a circle again. Yeah, grab the corners when you want to keep the same shape. There you go. Okay. Yep, start is correct. Okay. So, we would, let's see, so we start new game. We've already made our PCs, or we need to go create, so we're going to have an option of choose character or create PC that goes back. Because you can start the game, create a PC, then go to new game, or you can go to new game, and you can either pick a PC or loop back to create PC. So let's do a decision block below the start. And we're going to have the one on the left be the plain process of create PC, because that's just going back, and it's going to be on the left, and it's going to be create PC process, right? Because that's just telling it to go back to that other chart. On the right hand side, we're going to have select PC. Okay. And then we're going to leave that kind of blank for now. We can leave that defined in this flowchart later, but we don't have to fill it. Now go ahead and do your connectors to each of those. And again, usually I don't have to go through this in front of everybody else trying to verbalize it. It's a little harder than just doing it myself. But obviously it's to everybody's benefit if we go through this together. And what I think I'll do is on the next flow chart, we'll have somebody else take a turn. We'll rotate so everybody tries to get turns doing this. Sound good?
Good me.
All right,
He's
good.
gonna like roll a d4 or something.
Use our elimination process. Figure that logic out. That's not a bad idea to get to practice doing that. All right. Okay. So now we've either create price. Okay, let's select PC. So we've done that, and then go to. I guess let's see. So once we've selected the PC, create PC. So then at the bottom of it, below the decision process, is load start page. I guess that's how we. Anybody have a better suggestion than that? Or
so
load. Let's just be literal about it with this book right now. Open page 1.
Okay. Would that be displaying? Yeah, I guess so.
Or sorry, open option, open choice 1, because these are all choices, not pages. There we go. No, it's a it's not a well. Okay, it's an act. Well, yeah, okay, I guess you're right. And actually, all 3 of those should have displays before the process. You're correct. So move start over to the center a little more. Move it all to the center a little more. Yeah, shift it all. And then stick in the display, because it's a menu option, right, between each of those processes. I'm sorry, I skipped a step. Yeah. But put that, yeah, rename it, whatever.
Yeah.
You got the idea. You can just control CV and stuff to make it faster.
Oh, that works? Oh, okay.
Doesn't it? You tell me.
Oh.
It does not work? You can't do control C and control V?
Oh, no, it totally works.
Okay, there you go.
I was just pressing the wrong button.
Make a macro for like a display. Just hit the D key.
Oops. I don't really know what the name is. It would just be like a...
Create PC. That's the menu option, is create PC. And same thing on the right hand side is select PC.
And just so you know, that display on the right hand side isn't actually connected to any of the arrows. It's
Yeah,
just
you have
like
to
on top of
rejigger
it.
those. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, really? Okay. Oops. Well...
We can worry about the fine tuning later.
Yeah.
And then that select PC process in the square box.
Oops. Oh, I didn't know how to do that.
Okay, and then so now below the decision diamond, we see the option to open page 1 as displayed.
Ooh, is there an option one?
Display.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get into options and all the other stuff another time. I'm trying to stick to basics here. Okay, and then you can now do a display. There's a box for, sorry, not display, for page. There's an actual shape for page, whether it's a web page or whatever. I think it was, yeah, you'll find it.
Oh, on page or off page?
No, you're looking for actual page. Document, that was it, sorry, document.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So put that, there we go. And then that's going to be page 1. Or sorry, option 1. Show option 1 and option 1. Sorry, there we go. And there are ways to do options in a different connotation, but it'll do for now. All right, so that's where it starts with, at last your 2-day hike is over, blah, 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 blah. And if you want, we could put a little put a little annotation to the side of show option 1. You know, annotation is that bracket.
Oh, the bracket?
See where it says annotation?
Does it really matter which one?
I like the one with the little connector to it. It depends on the context. If you're trying to bracket a whole bunch of stuff, then you do the other one. But this one's perfect for this. Go put that down on show option 1, and say now refer to twinery. Right. As far as we don't want to track the story options in this flowchart, that we use twinery for story flowcharting. Does that make sense?
Okay.
All right. So we've got, now go ahead and save that as phase 2. What is this process? This is a new game process. Flow 1, new game process. Good. Then date stamp it, and remember a letter at the end as well. Letter A. Good. All right. So there's that.
It's actually about break time.
Great. Perfect.
Pause there.
Let's do that. Let's take a break. Thank you, Valerie. All right. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll have somebody else do the flowchart next. We'll roll for that. We'll flowchart our process for that. back to RPG Research. This is our electronic role-playing game developers, brain-computer interface development weekly meeting. And we're working on the flowchart. Oh, by the way, did you guys see my blog posting yesterday? I mean, I kind of spammed
About
everybody.
the updates, October
Yeah.
updates?
Did you guys read it?
Yeah, I read through it.
Okay. So you noticed that I did order the R&D set, the BCI R&D set yesterday. It's now ordered.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, it's $2,500. Everything's gone up because of the supply chain being broken by all the COVID panic. So it went up, unfortunately, but I still got board approval for the price difference because it was only going to go up again on November 1st. So, or at least they were threatening it would. You know, we'll see. But so that's ordered, and I'll let you guys know when it arrives, and then we'll do a whole unboxing because it's a whole kit. It's a mad scientist kit, I like to call it.
Do an
You said
unboxing
November
video,
1st?
I'll pay it back.
What?
You said it was going to go up November 1st? What did you say?
They were saying that the price might go up in November because of further supply chain issues.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was only going to get worse potentially. But anyway, it was time to get it. The money finally had cleared from TFN and everything, and it was time to get on it. So I got that ordered, plus an extra battery and charger so that the headset can keep going. You can swap things out and keep going.
Okay.
So it's a complete. The link is on that blog posting if you want to see what's included. And that's what we'll be doing our R&D with on the BCI side, right? So while we're doing the coding here, I'll be fiddling with. I'll probably have to spin up a whole separate BCI stream as I get familiar with the new version of the software and the hardware and get it all working, just the basics working. And then we got to bring the two together, right? That's why we needed it before we were code ready, because that way we can do it in parallel rather than wait forever for figuring that learning curve out. So that's a great milestone that's happening. Very excited about that. So just let you all know when it arrives. That'll be a lot of fun. Anybody tuning in to tonight's Call of Cthulhu Halloween special?
Nope, I'll be in my own game.
Oh, good. We're doing it from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. We're doing 7th edition Call of Cthulhu, 1925, Masks of Nyarlathotep. So, it looks like we'll be starting down in Peru. So, and it sounds like a lot of people are going to be cosplaying it. And that's why I got all the green screens up. I've got new lighting and everything else I'm getting fixed here. We've got this whole new light. This one just arrived today. Does all sorts of different colors. Can you see that?
That's bright too.
Yeah, it's twice as bright as the one I already have up and half the size. And then I can just thumb wheel it.
Holding like a fireball. Like
Yeah.
a Street Fighter.
Haruget! See it? I can go through the whole spectrum of colors here. So that'll be a nice little touch. And it's meant to mount on a camera, and it's got lots of features, and very excited about that. And it's chargeable. It's a battery pack and everything. Can't believe the size of it. It's amazing. This thing, something like that used to be thousands of dollars just a few years ago, and it was $60.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, holy crap. All right.
That's a big price difference.
Yeah. Well, I've watched
Economies
that.
of scale.
Exactly. Although PCs have been going backwards this year, right? They were going down. They kind of flattened, and then with the COVID stuff, laptops and webcams are through the roof, right? They're just ridiculously priced.
Graphics cards too.
Yeah.
can't
It's
even find
crazy.
one.
It's crazy. I'm glad I was well stocked ahead of time. I already had like 10, 12. I may have 20 webcams, but they don't all work. But I think I have 12 working webcams. So that's good because of our events. Do you guys all know about the event coming up? It's a D&D epic where there's 6 tables simultaneously all playing the same adventure from different locations towards a common goal. Valerie's a captain on it. So that's coming.
the charity thing you guys.
Yeah, it's charity for Spokon. Yeah, so that you should be able to sign up for that after tomorrow. in our /events section, you should be able to sign up. You'll have 6 tables to pick from, and then it's $5, and that all gets donated to Spokon. We don't get a dime, and that's okay. We're doing it for them. John's the director of gaming for Spokon as well. Our vice president is their director of gaming, and so it's a fundraiser for them. They had to cancel Spokon this year because of COVID and Davenport Hotel and all that, but they're trying to get the money for next year, and so this is to help them with that. We've always had a great partnership with Spokon. It's a big science fiction fantasy convention. We've had over 1,000 participants sometimes. It's not a huge one, but it's a good size one. So we are concerned about filling up the seats. So if any of you, it's going to be November 21st, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. So adjust your time accordingly. So it's not at a ridiculous hour. And it's just one long session, and it's open to all. So if you're at all interested in getting in a good D&D, it's an unpublished module. It's Adventurers League. So it's not something you can just buy off the shelves. And it is an epic. And some of the captains, I forgot to click until now, one of those days. Clock in until now. Oh, it's one of those. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, remember to clock in, everybody. But anyway, there's these captains who will also be playing NPCs in costume or with face rig. You guys familiar with face rig?
It's like the cameras, right?
Face rig makes your face suddenly turn into a CGI of a creature or a person. It overlays your face, and as you talk, it talks. We have a copy of it. It runs under Windows, so we're under Linux right now. But we'll be running a copy of Face Rig here, and one of the others has Face Rig himself. Kyle has Face Rig himself. So at least 2 of the tables have Face Rig, and then Valerie's doing cosplay as a vampire, and then some of the others might do a little cosplay or not. That depends. But anyway, so it'll just be a fun little one shot. Consider it when it comes on. All right. So fast forward. We need to figure out, because I'm going to have somebody else do flowchart. We need to figure out the flow of the who goes next process, right? So Valerie, what were the notes on that? What did we decide last week was for our non-combat turn selection process? It was decided, remind me on the flow for that.
Yeah, let me grab.
And how many we have right now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, right? Is it 6 in here right now? Not counting me? Because I'll be the computer. Okay, good. So just a 6-sided die for now.
Okay. So it says, for non-combat, there will be a random assignment using process of elimination with an opt-out feature. Players would be put into a pool, and names would be randomly selected, then removed from the pool. Once the pool is empty, the process would repeat. All players would get an equal number of turns, but order would be randomized. There will be a temporary exclusion to prevent the same player from going twice in a row, as well as the option to opt out of making choices. Should all players opt out? Okay.
So we need to flowchart that, but before we do, let's just go ahead and apply it. So I'm going to be the CPU. Actually, I'll be the MCP, Master Control Process, for anybody who remembers Tron. End of line. All right, so I'll be the MCP. And I'm going to roll a d6 because we got 6 people. So the way this will be in pseudocode is user count equals X. And in our case, it's 6, right? So then,
for the time being, can I opt out? I just think it's more important for them to be able to
you bet.
do
You bet.
than me.
So let's do user count equals 5 for now. Okay, so rand times X, right? Because that's our user count. All right, let's make it U just so it makes sense. We'll make user count equals U, rand times U. All right. So I'll roll. Actually, I do have a 5-sided die. I've got odd sides. Where's my odd set?
How does a 5-sided one roll?
I have dice for all the odd numbers.
You have all the edge case dice.
Yes, I do. I just have to figure out where people have moved them to, because they keep moving my stuff everywhere. And it gets a little frustrating. There we go. They're knocked over, but hopefully it's in here.
Can I ask, in Cthulhu,
Yeah.
how do you make a Lovecraft Lovecraftian character.
You're an average Joe, a reporter, detective, a librarian, a fishmonger, a sailor, you're just an average person in the 1920s who gets pulled into a thing.
And the amount of stats you have is kind of overwhelming.
Well, you have just normal stats, and then you have all these skills. And the skills are percentage based, then you've got these stats. So you've got about 8 or 10 stats. Well, that's nothing compared to Rollmaster and others.
But they're just like a regular person's stats. Right?
Well, yeah, you're not a superhero or anything. It's most of the time Call of Cthulhu characters either go crazy or die. Sooner or later they go crazy. Sooner or later they lose enough sanity, they eventually end up crazy if they don't die. It's dark, but it's a lot of fun. The biggest issue people have with Cthulhu is because it's a product of the time, of the 1920s, it has all the racial and gender and all the other element issues with it, right? And you can modify your world if you want. We tend to try to play it as a period piece, as is, and just, we don't hammer on it, but it ends up becoming part of the role-play challenge. Whenever you do a period role-playing game, you have to decide, are you going to depict the period close to what that period is like, or are you going to make it some fantasy version of that period, right? And you have the choice to do that. That's the beauty of a role-playing game, to do that. But with Cthulhu, as part of the challenge, we usually play it as is. So in the 1920s, there was all kinds of racial bigotry, gender bigotry, etc. And that's part of the role-play challenge when we play through that. We just don't hammer on it really hard, but it is something there. So let's say you come up to a guard and you're an African-American woman trying to get access to some facility. Their response to you is going to be more negative than if you were, a wealthy white male, whatever, approaching them, in an authoritarian way. So those just things that you have to role play around and figure out how to deal with it. So other groups choose to do that, and others just say, don't play Call of Cthulhu because it does this. That's evil, and we don't ascribe to that last one. All right, let's see. See all these dice here? Can you guys see that? Whoop, and I dropped one off. Those are all. Where'd it go?
I wish I could design a table that had a pool table, all the balls go back into the table.
Yeah, they
make a dice table that did that.
They have them. People make custom tables that are pretty amazing. All right, so we have our normal 6-sided, but here we go. I think this is a 5-sided. It's funky. It is very weird looking. One way it looks like a triangle, and so it's designed so it can only come up on a valid side. All right, so that's 1 through 5. So now we need to assign who is which number. So assign you to num. All right, so let me just do that over here. So Zach will put you as 1 because you started on there.
Okay.
Get my mouse over here.
And Zach, you can also stop sharing whenever.
Yeah, you can. We're gonna have somebody else do a flowchart next here. We're gonna determine it.
I kind of forgot I was here.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, looks like Trevor's the next alphabetically. So I'm just doing this as is. We would normally do it whoever arrives in what order, is their number or whatever. So Trevor, you'd be number 2 as far as when I roll.
Got it.
Okay, Luke, you'll be 3. So that leaves Doug as 4. And Dario is 5.
And technically, Zach is excluded from this round.
Yeah, well, he's the minus, he's the subtract 1, whatever, or the blocked from counting. But I still want to have him assigned, because as we iterate through, that resets. Okay, so we've had now P1 block. because that's you, Zach. You've already done it. So now that actually is going to make it a 4-sided die for the next roll, rather than re-rolling. We could re-roll, or just roll the amount. All right. So here I go. I got a 1, so that makes Trevor. You're next. So go ahead and get diagram.net up and ready, and we want to flowchart this process.
Got it. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Hey Valerie, did Tim and Nick G, did they mention like why they couldn't make it? Or
I don't have anything from them.
Okay.
just curious.
And
Trick or treating.
by the way, Zach, I did get the reference requests, and I was pinging Valerie about that before I filled out the reference request, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know.
Because it did ask very specific questions about when you started and things like that, so I've got to get that from Valerie.
Okay, that's not a problem.
Okay. But yeah, I did, whoever it is you applied to has pinged me about it, so just so you're aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that people still do that. That's interesting.
What, follow up on references?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
more
have to
automated.
request on my resume.
What's
I
that?
didn't anyone ask that, so I just assumed that they don't go through with it.
Oh no, they do. They do, and it's more automated now. So they don't call so much now as send you an email with a form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
before they would
Or you have
call.
You have to provide letters sometimes too if you had to do that.
Well, that's a letter. That's a letter of recommendation. That's different than a reference. So references, they can contact them to find out, did you work here? Yeah, they have to be very careful. An employer can only say very limited responses, right? They're not allowed to be really open about. They can just verify employment, the dates of employment. There's a lot of legal restrictions about what can be said in a reference.
Okay.
A recommendation is above and beyond that, where your employer, coworker, whatever, writes something really nice about you, and you can go ahead and share that around with as much as you want.
Gotcha.
Am I sharing my screen correctly?
And it shares a lot of details too. Potentially, it'll share details of like what you accomplished,
Yeah,
etc.
that's it.
A reference isn't allowed to go into that level of detail.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But a lot of potential employers try to violate that law. Plus, different states have different laws. They'll try to ask questions about a lot of questions. You have to be really careful, because as an employer being asked, you can be sued by the previous employee if you say the wrong things.
Oh wow.
So you have to be really careful. The joys of
What am I
management.
doing here again?
All right, so you're screen sharing your diagram,
Yes.
and you're going to put in the upper right-hand corner the title, non-combat turn selection process. Or let's do turn selection process dash non-combat. It'll be upper right-hand corner when you
I
get there.
apologize for my yawning.
Okay, just you can mute your mic when you're not speaking.
That's true. Alright. Combat.
No,
What was it? Non-combat slash what?
turn selection process dash non-combat.
Okay.
Start that over. You need to rewrite that. Turn selection process.
Alright.
Yeah, just move it around, yeah. Dash non-combat. Space dash space non-combat. And it's all going to be one horizontal line. And each letter should be each word should have the first letter capitalized.
Got it. Very good.
And one long line, and in the upper right-hand corner.
In the upper right hand. Oh my gosh. There.
And one long line.
Fine. Got it.
No, don't draw a line. I mean, the text should be one single line of text. There you go. That's it. All right. Oh, what?
There we go.
Hey, yep, ho, yep. All right, there we go. All right, now let's go ahead and save it before we start doing work so that we can save incrementally. Nope, you got to do a save as. You need to name it.
Save. What?
File, save as.
That's so weird. There's no save as.
No.
That's really weird.
Where is your save set to? Because it
Is it my Google Drive?
He's also doing it in the online version.
Oh, he didn't download and install it?
I
The
know
same software though.
the online one has save as too, though. So there's some.
What browser? You want to?
Google Chrome.
You know, there was just an update that happened this week that all of a sudden Google Chrome's not working well on a lot of stuff. I don't know if that's affected you.
It probably did.
Try refreshing the page.
Got it.
And then when you choose where to save it or upload it, never mind. Because I think it's because it's connected to your drive, so you can't save as. I mean, that's my.
Oh yeah.
That might be my guess.
Okay. I will download it and it just.
All right, we'll roll somebody else and come back to you.
Yeah. All right.
All right, next candidate.
Oh, you're still sharing, by the way.
Oops. Yes. Sorry.
All right, Dario, your turn.
All right, let me put some headphones on and concentrate.
Okay.
Okay.
So we may not get to the actual gameplay, but we will at least have had the mechanics charted to do the gameplay. So we're still making progress, so that's all good.
How do I share my? Okay, never mind. I found it.
This is good practice for everybody.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
PC? Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So the same thing that Trevor did, right?
Yep.
Where's the text box? Was that in general?
Well, first let's make sure you can save how you want to save. So let's just do a file save as. Good.
Save as.
So let's go ahead and save that. So it's going to be wherever you're going to save it with the right name.
Would it be device?
Yeah.
Like on my
Type your name first before you.
Uh-oh. What do you mean?
You want to write your file name out before you determine where. So in file name.
Gotcha.
So you're going to put Project Ilmatar Phase 2 Flow chart.
How do you spell Ilmatar? Just one L?
ILMATAR.
Project Ilmatar. Okay.
Phase 2 Flowchart. And then it's going to be turn selection process non-combat. And then the date stamp.
Is there a character limit on file names?
Yeah. We're pushing it. And then letter A. Okay, and then device. And then select the correct device that you want. Okay, all right. So now go ahead and do that in the upper right-hand corner with the text. And by the way, if you could make that full screen on your desktop, because we're only seeing a little version of it. There we go. Thank you.
Hold on.
There's your text box.
Is there a way to zoom in?
Yes. I want to say yes. That's not
Control
it.
plus.
There we go.
Yeah, so
Okay.
go back, yeah. This is good training for everybody. All right, so turn selection process dash non-combat. Okay.
Is it one word or is there a hyphen?
It's hyphenated word, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So in the left-hand corner, we're going to have the start circle. And type in start. Good.
Oh, that's weird.
That's not in it.
Yeah.
Was there a different one you could select that? That's fine. Don't worry about it. You can figure that out later. Okay.
Well, try the general, maybe the general circle. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Then to the right of that, so this is where we got to take our pseudocode and turn it into a flowchart. So, but we can still do it as, okay, hover over the different option boxes. I want to see what the choices are.
And flowchart?
Yeah, on flowchart. So go slowly. Okay, collate, delay, decision, database, data. That might be a possibility. Keep going. Direct data. Keep going. Deploy, display, document. What does that say?
Extract or measurement.
Extract or measurement. That's a really good possibility. Keep going. Manual operation. Manuscript. Manual input. Keep going. Loop limit. Internal storage. Merge or storage. Multi-document. Off-page reference. On-page reference. Predefined process. What does that say? I can't. Parallel mode. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Tape.
Yep.
Okay. Or, okay, we got our lot of Boolean. Preparation. Process. Sequential data. Sort. Summing. Junction. Stored data. Start. Terminator. Transfer. Okay. So let's go with, what was that triangle? Was extract. Yeah, let's put that on there. Let's also have down near the lower right hand area of those shapes again. I wanted to see a couple those couple summing junction above that. Stored data. Write down the stored data. So save stored data to the right. Go and just stick that on the flowchart. We're going to want that. Okay, go back to the lower right hand of the flowchart options again. Left. Sequential data. Maybe later. Below that. Okay, that was process. Okay, stored data. We got that. All right, I think we're okay for the moment. All right, shrink those down a little bit. The triangle and the stored data is very funky. Okay. Or too large. Okay. So now we want, let's see, so that triangle hover, what's that called again? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it.
Extract or measurement.
Extract or measurement. That's what I want. Okay. So we want to put in there user count equals U. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you have to play with it a little bit. Go ahead and adjust the size as you need to. If you need to make it a bit larger, make it larger. What you could do is put carriage returns above it in the text. Carriage, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, so user count equals U. And then that's going to get stored in user count. But we wanted that as a buffer, right? So that's why we have a separate diagram. So we're going to go ahead and do let's put, okay, move those two pieces a little bit to the right because we're going to slip something in. And we're going to stick in a predefined process, not a regular process, a predefined process between start and user count. And we're going to put users join game. Does that make sense? It's okay if it's below it. No, yeah, it's okay if it's below it. Yeah, go ahead. Or in it, okay, whatever, it's fine. Users join game, good. All right, so this is how we want it to kind of flow, right? To go from start, users joins game, we get a user count, we store that user count in an array or vector or whatever how we decide to do with that. But so we're going to put, yeah, so we get user count. That's we're getting the value of user count, and then we're storing that user count. Does that make sense?
But we don't want to account for the opting until later, right?
Right. We're going to add more logic as we go. This is just the starting. This is the very beginning of the process. Okay. So and then go ahead and go from user count to store it. Okay. And so you could just put, and this is not, you're going to say store space user count.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, there you go. Does that make sense to you now? Right, so whatever we decide that variable name is, we'll worry about that later. This is pseudocode flowcharting. All right.
Yeah, this is really cool. I've only done UML diagrams, so this is really cool.
This is the simpler version pre-UML.
Yeah.
This is what we like to do first because it's a lot easier to just play around with this very quickly and see your logic stuff very quickly at a simpler level, right? It's the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid at first. Then, before you go to coding, you then move this into the UML world. This is a step between, concept, flowcharting, UML it, create your unit tests, do coding, right? That's a test-driven approach, right? As opposed to write your code, figure it out as you go, which is what too many people do. I can't tell you how many projects that's what ends up what happens. It's scary. All right, not projects I run, just to be clear.
Right.
Okay, I'm not saying I didn't do that when I was 9 years old in 1979 learning to code. I'm saying I learned better. All right.
Or the iteration of go too slowly in this portion, then jump to code and hurry to finish on time.
Yes. You got it. Okay. So that is establishing our user count. We've got it stored. Now we have to determine who gets to go. So we're going to do a, and this is a function. I don't remember seeing a function symbol in there. Did anybody see a function symbol in the flowchart? What was that hourglass looking one? I forget. Okay, no, we don't want to do that yet. Remember that for later. That's a good one, but that's not it.
Is there a way to search?
I don't know.
Maybe...
Just hover over it and just quickly go over it. Don't wait for me. Just look for something that makes sense for.
I'm searching in the tool set. There's like Lambda functions and stuff. Application function.
Yeah, I don't want to
get. There's a green one that's like an arrow chevron.
Yeah, I don't want to get too funky. Yeah, that's getting into a different style of notation. We're not there yet. Yeah, that's getting to the UML. I'm trying to keep you guys one step away from that for the moment. Okay, well, let's just make it a regular process rather than a predefined process. Just make it a regular process box. We'll just do that. And function, a process, same diff. All right. Making it harder than it needs to be. It was just the basic square.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So.
Right here?
No, over below start, and make it a lot smaller.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's going to be rand times user count. Rand star user count. Put space between rand and user count, though, otherwise it looks like a wild card. There you go. There you go. And so, or if you want, you can say random, because rand is too platform specific. So say random times user count. No, don't put that arrow yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. That's the wrong order. You don't want to run rand.
You said it's platform specific, so other languages don't use rand?
Yes.
Wow.
They use RND, they use rand. There's, remember, I've had like 30 different programming languages, so it's all a jumble in my head.
I've only come across rand. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, RND.
Rand range is another one.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. It just depends. All right. So I guess that. Let's see. We got that. Assign. No. Okay. So for the first time, we will take an arrow from store user count to the top of rand user count.
Wait, store user count to where?
To the top of random user count.
Oh, okay.
Because this is the first time. We don't have to do any process of elimination.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's right. Now, we're going to, over on the right-hand side, down a little ways, not too far, but just a little ways, where we want to create a little kind of sub-function, if you will, that's going to do our process of elimination once they've, so we need to create kind of our array of being used. So go ahead and take that box that you just had, you created a new box, or that, whatever. Okay, we just need a big square that's empty. Okay, and make it
a bigger one than this? Or?
Yeah, make it larger. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Really large. Keep going. More.
Enhance.
More. Yeah, enhance image. More. All right, that's good for there. Now move that to the right a bit. Okay, now bring that down a little bit. Good. Now go ahead and save where you're at. Save your work so far. Hopefully just Control S. It didn't let you do a Control S?
I did. This is what it came out for Control S.
Jeez. I can't read it, so do whatever you gotta do.
Are you bilingual, Daria?
I am.
What's your other language? Just because I don't recognize it.
Croatian.
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so even when I hit save, it's telling me to...
Oh, weird.
Should I just...
It only gives you a download, right? Is that...
Oh, that's probably why. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do what?
Yeah, go ahead and overwrite it.
It's only letting you download, is that right? To your desktop?
No, it's letting me save, but I can't just... Let me see if I can do it. So every time I hit save, it's doing save as.
Weird. Huh. Okay. Again, I haven't used this in years, so I need to get a chance to play with it, and I get the nuances. All right, so in this is right above the top of it, you're going to have text that says, what was the language we used, Valerie, for this function? This is where if user has already been chosen, don't select again, right? They get put into a buffer of not to be selected.
And you said text above it, right?
Yes, that's what you're right on the spot. How do we describe that, Valerie, in your notes?
We called it temporary exclusion.
Okay, so temporary exclusion process, subprocess, temporary exclusion subprocess.
Is that how you spell exclusion?
Yeah, you got it. We'll call it subprocess.
Is that hyphenated?
Depends. The hyphenate's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna take. Okay, so now from the output of random user count, so we want to have an output. So below random user count, we need a box that represents output. Under the flowcharts, hopefully there's something there that said output. Might be display, but I'd prefer something else. data. Let's make it data. So we'll stick data.
Okay.
And that's going to be right. Yeah, there you go. Make it a little smaller, but yeah, good. And so that is, user count, or let's see, this is going to be selected user. Selected user. You can do it as pseudocode if you want with the together as capital user. Camel case.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you make the box just a little bit wider so it fits. Or change the font, yeah, that's fine too. Okay, so selected user. Now below that I want to put a piece of example result. So let's put a little bit of text below that selected user box that says, EX equals 3. So example equals 3. It's the actual equal sign. Okay, and then under random user count, let's see, under user count U up at the top, the triangle, right below it in text, go ahead and put EX equals 5. So 5 people. And you can move the arrows as you need to like you can move random user count down a little, and that should give you more space. Or whatever works. Okay, EX equals 5. Good. So, and then, store user count's 5. We go rand user count. So we'll do rand times 5. We get a result of 3. So we want to have a little bit of an example here to check our logic as we go. So go ahead and do an arrow connector from the random to the selected user. Good. All right. Then we're going to have below that, so actually I guess the EX3 needs to be a little bit to the right, or to the right, so you've got, so the arrow can get past it. No, but not there, down near the corner.
Hey, this may not be the time to mention this, but
yeah.
But just for future reference, should the user have an option to pass if they don't want to go that round?
What did we decide? I know we discussed that. What did we decide, Valerie? That they did not want to be selected to make a decision.
We did say there would be an opt-out feature.
Okay.
But like on a given turn, can you pass your turn even if you haven't opted out?
Well, you always have to. This is right now just selecting your turn. This is not selecting leadership. Remember, we had the option to. Oh well, no. Okay, how did I run it by us again, Valerie? I've got different things in my head.
Okay, so it says there will be a random assignment using process of elimination with an opt-out feature. Players will be put into a pool. Names will be randomly selected, then removed from the pool. We did not address each turn, so it says in terms of the opt-out, there will be a temporary exclusion to prevent the same player from going twice in a row, as well as the option to opt out of making choices, but we didn't specify if that option was per round or if you do it once.
We can do it per round. Okay, no, so good point. Thanks for bringing that up. Who was it who said that?
That was me, Doug.
Doug, okay, yeah, me doesn't help. We're all me's. If you want to get Buddhist about it, you're all me and I'm all you, so All right, so below selected user is, okay, no, I'm sorry. Before, okay, we got user count, store user count. We need to put between store user count and random user count opt-out process. We'll just stick that in between. So that arrow, where the arrow flows, you're gonna move that down a little bit. Yeah, that makes sense. Good. Okay, so midway between store user count and the random, we want to stick in a process of user opts out. So just a square, a small square.
Would that subtract from the stored user count if you opted out?
Yeah. So we'll have to create a function loop because we still have to do the first one first. Everybody joins the game. We get a user count. We store the user count. Now the user goes through the process of opting out. So just change that to opt-out process. User opt-out process. Sorry.
So on the, since this is networked, right? What happens if somebody's connection drops?
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's a whole other.
We don't want to worry about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We're gonna start with ideal circumstances first. Then we'll worry about all the error handling. And we will do lots of error handling. Oh yes, we will.
All the error.
Okay, so have that arrow come to that box rather than going straight to Rand.
Wait, what?
So yeah, go and select that line, that connector, and change the arrow to point to the user opt-out process instead of Rand.
Oh, gotcha.
Or else delete and redo.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That's easiest.
There you go. Move it around. Okay. Ooh, that's the wrong. There you go.
There we go.
All right. And you're probably going to want to move that user opt-out process to the right more because you're going to need more room. A smidge more room. Oh. Hey, yep. Oh, up. Hey. No, to the right. To the right. The other left. All right. That's good enough for now. All right. So, user opt-out process. So, now we're going to put to the left of that another box. Just another simple box, because these are all processes that we'll have to define later. So to the left of user output process.
So they opt out before they're selected?
Correct.
Okay.
They can say up front, I don't want to do anything this turn. We could change the logic if you wanted. We could say you're selected, do you want to take a choice? Which would you guys prefer? I thought when we were saying opt out, they opt out at first, but we could flow it either way.
I mean, from my opinion, ideally you could opt out for the whole process or pass a given turn when it was your turn.
That's what I was thinking. Is right here, you choose in advance that you don't even want to be considered. Later, you get another choice to say accept this turn when it comes to you. So I was thinking we have this kind of twice. So you could opt out in two different levels. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So now it's going to say user count minus opt out. And have spaces between the minus so that, yeah, okay. All right. Then, now that arrow can connect to random user count. Does that make sense, everybody? Check my logic on this.
Yep.
Okay, so we had an example of 5. Let's use a user output example process. We'll say X, EX equals U4. So in text, you're going to put below user opt-out process, EX equals capital U4. So we're going to say user 4 has opted out. U4. Capital U. Since we defined user count equals U as a capital U. Okay, good. All right.
Oh, that's right.
So now user count opt out. The user count is changed. We're not changing what's in storage, right? We're just changing what's being sent to Rand. So we're going to put below there EX equals 4. Because we got 4 people instead of 5 if we had user 4 opt out. Okay? So then we do Rand. So then to the right of random user count, we're going to put some text that says EX equals Rand times U. Rand times 4. Okay, right? Because that's what we've got for that. And then and then the result, we get a selected user. The example is user number 3. So we can put that for that 3. Let's put a U3 since we're defining that as which user selected. That'll help us keep track of that, numbers versus user. All right. Does that make sense to everybody so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now they've been selected, but let's give them another option to opt out. So remember that EX needs to be down in the corner because we're going to do a flow to the right of selected user.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because we're heading towards the temporary exclusion logic, but we're not there yet. Okay, good. So now let's make a simple box process. Actually, save where you're at before something blows up. Get in the habit of saving frequently. If it doesn't do it automatically, do it manually a lot. Oh crap! It's 12 o'clock.
Oh wow, yeah, it is. Okay.
Time flies when we're having fun, right? Okay, if you guys are okay, it'll take a few minutes just to hurry and get this part of it, and then we'll come back to the exclusion logic next week. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay.
So let's get in there. Once again, you're going to have user opt-out process 2. Actually, let's make that one a decision block. I think that's going to make more sense as a decision block at this point. And I mean, technically the others are decision blocks, but we don't want it. There's two different ways to look at this: the code level versus the user experience. Right now, we're just trying to work out the logic of this. Okay, so yeah, user opt out. So let's just say okay, good. Opt out. Loop it back to user opt out process. So make an arrow from the decision diamond to the user output process. You'll have to use the EXU4, move it to the right hand corner of that process. Yeah, move the text out of to the right there a little bit. There you go. Okay, and now go ahead and that's fine. Now go ahead and get that arrow where it belongs. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, because then if they and then put that arrow coming out of the top of the diamond, the decision diamond, coming out of the top. Gotcha. All right. So and then double click on that connector, and say opt out yes.
Like this? Or?
Yes, that's it. Now do a connector from user output process 2 to the temporary exclusion subprocess big box. Good. Now double click on that and put opt out equals no. No,
on the line?
On the line, yeah. Okay. Now go ahead and save it. All right, everybody take a look at that. How's the logic looking?
So far, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Have we put ourselves
what I
in?
don't understand is the random times user count. That to me, a range would make more sense, but I'm sure they would get the same outcome.
Yeah, we're pseudocoding.
Yeah.
Don't get bogged down in the specific code implementation yet. All we're doing is we're randomly selecting from a user count of 4. Right? It's not literally rand times for your code function.
Like,
no, this is pseudocode of randomly select from 4.
Okay.
So if you want, we could change the times to be from 4 if that helps make it easier for you. Would that help?
I get it now.
Well, but that's a good point to bring up. So why don't you in the example change that to rand from 4?
What's from?
Just FROM.
Oh. What about I forgot what it's called. The not divide, but the
modulus.
Yeah. Would that be the same thing?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
As long as everybody understands that. Because remember, we're pseudocoding. You want to make sure everybody's on the same page. My concern is that percentage, that could be misinterpreted. So I think let's just say from for now, because it's just pseudocode. I think we'll be safer from misunderstanding. Because you want these documents to be fairly idiot-proof and not open to different interpretations. So it's very good that you brought that up, because you would have been writing the code to try to multiply rand times 4 to get a result, correct?
Right.
And so it's good that you brought that up to clarify. So you could also put it in the process, say get rid of the star, and also say from user count. So whenever you have a question like that, do speak up, because that's where coding mistakes happen in the team, is misinterpretations and assumptions. So if you have any confusion, speak up, because we can fix our documents to get rid of that confusion. So thank you for mentioning that. Do not be afraid to speak up, everybody. It's really important. Otherwise you will go down the coding rabbit hole, and then you'll fix it eventually. But our goal is to document it in advance so that when you go to write code, it's really clear, and you just write code and boom, you're done, right? As opposed to having to iterate back and forth because there's communication problems. We won't eliminate that, but we want to reduce it as much as possible. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody see any other issues? So far, does that make total sense to everybody? Is that like what we thought we were talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, that's good to me so far.
Okay, Valerie, go through and do a final check through with everybody. If there's anything else they want to add before we wrap up for today.
Okay, Trevor?
I don't have anything to add.
Luke?
I'm good.
Doug?
Yeah, not me.
Dario?
Yeah, same here.
Zach?
No, I'm good so far.
Okay, that's everyone.
Okay, good. So next week we will have in our exclusion sub-process Zach and Dario, because they've already taken turns with the flowcharting. So we're eating our own dog food right from the beginning. Right? We're using the process right from the beginning. So next week we have Doug, Trevor, I mean it's whoever shows up, but if Zach and Dario are here, you won't have to flowchart next week. It'll be handed off to somebody else. Okay, now make sure you get these flowcharts to Valerie and up on GitHub. Make sure Valerie gets an emailed copy, and then you guys each upload one into GitHub, all right?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, anybody have any questions for me before we go?
Oh, we're on GitHub. Do we have a folder for this?
We don't, so feel free to create one for flowcharts.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
Sweet. Sounds good.
All right, good job, everybody. We're getting there bit by bit.
Yep.
All right, have a great week. If you guys
Happy
want,
Halloween.
yeah, happy Halloween. If you guys
Yeah.
want to tune in the
Yeah,
stream
too.
tonight, remember we'll be on the Twitch stream, not on YouTube. So twitch.tv/RPG Research from 9 p.m. to 1-ish a.m. Pacific time. All right, thanks a lot. Wherever you may be well, happy gaming, and Namarie.
Bye.
Alrighty. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Hi.